Standard narrative has holes.
And we're proud of that.
Standard narrative has holes.
And we're proud of that.
Wetback piece of.
And we're proud of that.
Wetback piece of.
And we're proud of that.
Go yourself.
And we're proud of that.
Go yourself.
And we're proud of that.
For some, there isn't much to be proud of for the year 2020. Muslim apologists have suddenly found themselves unable to use arguments that they've used effectively for a very long time. As a result, some Muslim apologists have resorted to some very bad behavior. This video is a collection of some examples. So grab some popcorn, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Or cringe.
Daniel Hakikachu is a relatively popular Muslim apologist in America who has a very traditionalist Islamic perspective, and he's not shy from sharing his terrible ideas very openly and directly. Recently, Daniel shared this joke on Twitter. "Oh man, I missed the International Day Against Homophobia. The best way to celebrate such a beautiful, momentous, important day is the Muslim way. Recreational base jumping." At first glance, this sounds like a very edgy joke. But Daniel Hakikachu here and his little Islamic pawns are not just trying to provoke people by being humorous. Their humor actually reflects what they believe in. For all those who somehow still don't know, homosexual intercourse is punishable by death in Islam. Daniel Hakikachu here is referencing the Islamic punishment to execute gay people by throwing them off a high place and making their punishment a spectacle for people, so that they are scared and don't do the same. Because Allah is the most merciful, most kind. He goes on enjoying the idea of executing people by adding, "Nothing shows solidarity for LGBT like extreme sports." Since I am aware that he's not just joking, but packing something very terrible as a joke in order to get away with it, all I wanted to say was, "You're an evil piece of shit." Whereupon he replied to me saying, "Don't feel left out, Apostate Ridvan. We have special activities to celebrate International Apostate Day too." And his little fans found that very funny. He's referencing the killing of apostates like me under Islam, a law that has always existed in Islam and which is still theoretically or practically, legally or socially in place in many Muslim countries. Mr. Pikachu here believes that me and others like me deserve to be put to death simply for leaving Islam and being public about it.
Do you think slavery is okay?
Yeah. I mean, slavery is something that I do not find to be immoral. Is there a difference between owning someone versus renting someone? Renting someone is worse, because think about the difference between owning a car and renting a car. When you rent a car, you drive it, in a very abusive kind of way, as opposed to owning it where that's your investment, you care about it.
Why is Ijaz calling himself father of Yeshua?
I, Ijaz, can call myself whatever the hell that I want. It has nothing to do with your God. I don't care who you think you are. You have no place or authority to tell me I can't use my own personal name. So you wetback piece of go yourself. Do you understand?
Okay.
And your mother was a whore.
Now,
Guys,
we know that Muhammad was
hold on.
allowed for...
Ibn Anwar, hold on. I think it was what? Sister.
Oh wow, you're doxing me.
Right.
Oh my goodness, how pathetic are you that you think you doxing me is somehow?
I'm not going to dox you. What's going to happen next? That's not doxing. That's public information already. What's going to come
No, that's
next is
doxing.
what
Actually,
you should be
Ijaz,
worried
I have
about.
to, Ijaz, you forced my hand. That is, yeah.
That's not cool,
It's
dude.
public
That is not cool at all.
information. Public information. You will be found.
It is public information, but it wasn't intended for
Did
you.
you just say you will be found? Did he literally just say that you will be found?
You will be found, full stop.
I woke up this morning winning. Do you have any idea what it's like to wake up as the Dizzle? I've got 1.6 billion people flagging everything I post. I've got the YouTube trust and safety team, a bunch of spoiled narcissists crouching in the safe spaces of their ivory towers, calling everything I say hate speech. Every day when I log on to YouTube, I wonder if this is the day they'll finally ban me because they do that sort of thing. And yet, just keep winning. I don't know if I'll be winning tomorrow, but today I'm winning. A few weeks ago, I posted a video titled Secrets of the Quran featuring Sheikh Dr. Yasir Qadhi. It was just a bunch of clips of Yasir Qadhi saying that Muslims aren't ready to hear the truth about their book. And every time Yasir Qadhi said that the preservation of the Quran shouldn't be discussed in public, I had Jack Nicholson shout, "You can't handle the truth!" Because that's basically what Yasir Qadhi was saying. In response, Yasir Qadhi filed a false copyright complaint to YouTube. Maybe he thought I didn't know that I'm allowed to use those clips because of the fair use doctrine. Maybe he thought I just wouldn't be willing to go to court over this. Whatever the reason, Yasir Qadhi filed a false copyright complaint claiming that I was illegally using his footage. I submitted a counter notification and said that I'm willing to go to court over this. And this morning, YouTube said, "Dear Act 17 Apologetics, in accordance with the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, we've completed processing your counter notification. The following videos have been restored, unless you have deleted them." And that's the video that Yasir Qadhi had taken down. So, it's back up now. Winning. Yasir Qadhi lost.
Earlier this year, Yasir Qadhi flagged one of David Wood's videos for a copyright violation. David appealed it and won. On October 7th, I was flagged by Yasir Qadhi as well. The video that was flagged was my short edit of several clips of the now famous incident where Qadhi flopped around like a dying fish that had been brutally dragged ashore by Mohammad Hijab. As for the video in question, it has been restored on my channel. I've even updated the title.
Winning. Yasir Qadhi lost.
He said I was lying and misinterpreting. Now this is simply impossible. The video I posted of Qadhi that he flagged was just him. I was not even in the video. It is therefore difficult to see how I can be accused of lying or misinterpreting in a video that I'm not even in. Perhaps when Yasir Qadhi was watching my video, Satan imitated my voice and whispered something into his ear, making him think that I said something I didn't. But for the sake of argument, let's say that I was lying and misinterpreting. That is still not grounds for a copyright strike, because that's not a copyright violation. Qadhi knows this. Notice in his response, he said nothing about copyright. Rather, he doesn't like the way that people are using his material. More specifically, he doesn't like that people are using his video clips at all because he wants what he said removed from the internet.
Winning. Yasir Qadhi lost.
But what's important here is that Qadhi is receiving names of channel owners, pseudonyms, or names of lawyers who are appealing his false copyright claims. I received confirmation recently that the name Qadhi refers to here isn't some kind of slur or double meaning, as I originally assumed. It's a name Qadhi received that was sent to him in another copyright appeal, not mine.
The standard narrative, I'm not going to mention explicitly, the standard narrative, I don't even want to be explicit. The standard narrative, I would never bring it up in public. The standard narrative, and I don't think it is wise to bring it up in public. The standard narrative, you will not find one lecture of mine about this issue. It should never be brought up in public. The standard narrative, this is not something you discuss amongst the masses, ya akhi. It's not wise. The standard narrative has holes in it. That's what I'm going to say.
What do I say, arrogant nincompoops? You know, I mean, subhanAllah. You know, actually, there is a word that comes to mind. I mean, it's still in my head from my GRE days. Almost 20 years ago, I took the GRE. And there's a word there. What is it? Ultra-crepidarian.
Ultra-crepidarians.
This is the word that comes to mind when I'm dealing with these people. Ultra crepidarian.
Sheikh Yasir Qadhi has clearly just, for the most part of his life, just lived in a library.
Ultra crepidarian. Memorize it, and I hope that inshallah ta'ala, if one thing comes out of this lecture, please, oh Muslims, that are involved with this, start using this word and popularize it again, because that is exactly what these preachers are.
No, people will be like, what?
Ultra crepidarian.
Is that like a dinosaur? As to this, I don't know what to call it really, this tragedy or this crisis that Sheikh Yasir Qadhi has given birth to, this whole thing of holes in the narrative. अच्छा खासा hole कर दिए हैं. The Ummah was well on its way, it was reasonably fine, and Yasir Qadhi अच्छा खासा hole किए हैं. He's done quite a decent hole here. So this holes in the narrative. The truth is that Yasir Qadhi has landed himself in it, and he's landed himself deep. This hole, it goes deep. The problem is he's never offered a response or any clarity. At the time, he did a pathetic job of trying to say, well, come on my course and buy my course and I'll explain it.
If I were to give you a blank mushaf, yeah, and tell you to write what is munazzal verbatim from Allah into that mushaf with no human interference, would you write something which corresponds?
It's not an easy answer. It's not an easy yes or no. It is enough for the Muslim to believe that the
I think
Quran
this should
is
be an easy yes or no, though. Yasir Qadhi. I have to.
Okay, very, very well. So, yeah, Muhammad, after we get off this phone call, me and you, let's have a number of discussions. No problem. I'm very open with advanced students. And again, I encourage anybody who is really interested to go deep to take the class.
So that made zero sense.
I will have to break my rule and just for once give these idiots the smackdown that they deserve, to show them, because they have no integrity, to show them that they are utter fools who should not and cannot speak about the religion of Islam.
So in this clip as well, where Yasir Qadhi beloved said, look, I'm going to lay this matter to rest now. This is my smackdown. And you think, Abeo Chache, you haven't even explained anything. You just said, yeah, there's 40 views, yeah, I'm not with that view, I'm with the other view. The British rather the garage, bring a bottle of water to the garage.
The bulk of the differences are tajweed and pronunciation related. I mean, for example, let me just think of an example. Can you bring a glass of water to the garage? Okay, if an American says that. A Brit says it, how's he going to say it, right? Can you bring a glass of water to the garage, right? They speak in a higher pitched voice, right? Glass of water into the garage. There's differences, right?
The British rather the garage, bring a bottle of water to the garage.
Can you bring a glass of water to the garage?
The British rather
Can you bring a glass of water to the garage?
Can I give this?
A while ago, this Muslim apologist, who is a big representative of Muslims all around the world, has made a video in which he said that I, explicitly, deserve to be executed, and that ex-Muslims who leave their religion like me and spread their disbelief in society deserve to be executed, and that he and believers like him are proud of that they have no doubt about that, and that they would be watching us.
This is a part of our religion. There's a reason to it. Yeah, there's a reason why there's a capital punishment, because people like you, little weaklings who leave their religion and cause corruption in the land by spreading it, the capital punishment in Islamic law would be applied to you. We have no doubt, and we're proud of that.
Wetback piece of.
And we're proud of that.
Wetback piece of.
And we're proud of that. Capital punish will be applied in an Islamic state. Yeah, Not individuals going and doing it themselves like idiots, yeah? No, under an emir, it is done, yes. And we, you know what, we'll be watching. We'll be watching. Because if you're going to cause corruption in the land, that's going to cause more damage to the society as a whole. Because the Sharia didn't come to protect an individual's right. Hey, can I drink alcohol? Yeah, sure. Drink alcohol, run someone over, kill them, set all this kind of chaos. No, Islam says the right of the community is greater than you individual wanting your right to freedom, which is BS. Absolutely BS.
Mohammad Hijab just posted a video encouraging his followers to file hate speech complaints against us on Patreon. Quick recap. Back in June, Mohammad Hijab absolutely obliterated the standard narrative of the Quran. He destroyed the myth of perfect preservation. He tried to delete the embarrassing footage, but people had already downloaded it. Ever since then, he's been trying to divert attention away from his epic blunders. His brilliant strategy for distracting Muslims from the history of the Quran has been to get into an insult battle with pretty much everyone. Hijab started sending the apostate prophet messages telling him that he should commit suicide. Then Hijab showed up in the chat while we were doing a live stream and began posting disgusting comments telling us to engage in perverted sexual practices. When that didn't work, Hijab launched a campaign against the wives of critics of Islam. He posted pictures of our wives, along with extremely nasty and graphic comments.
Oh, check this out. And then, hey, now we have the masters thing here. And then when they are handcuffed by their own arguments and their own masters, spit at them and disregard. And they are humiliated in front of the Muslims. And a secret mental climax takes place.
Yeah, exactly.
In the very core of their hypocrisy, since they secretly admire those who they mock. So I guess that's him. You secretly admire Mohammad Hijab, guys.
The call to action here is very straightforward. We're going to go to Patreon, okay? We're going to go to Patreon, we're going to make an account, and then when we make an account, we're going to mass report, both of their channels. Now you can do that because there's a tab that allows you to do that. There's a tab that you go into their David Wood's account and Apus's account, as you can see on the screen, and then you put on report for something that happened outside of Patreon. You're going to mention how offended you feel as a Muslim community or whatever, with the timestamp, which is also on the screen now, as you can see, of the video of them eating the Quran.
Oh, hi there. I'm just counting all the money that Mohammad Hijab has been sending my way. Mohammad Hijab has been making it rain. And I don't mean in the creepy golden showers way that he loves to talk about. He's making it rain these Andrew Jacksons. Wow, Andrew Jackson was a white slave owner, just like the Prophet Muhammad. You'll recall that Mohammad Hijab, the tactical genius who keeps accidentally supporting our work, has been trying to get us banned from Patreon. But like everything Hijab does, it backfired. He ended up getting me and the apostate prophet way more patrons. It would have taken me another 2 years to get the number of new supporters I got in the past 2 days. So thank you, Mohammad Hijab. The check for your cut is in the mail. I hope it doesn't get intercepted by the British counter-terrorism agents people say are watching you. Unfortunately, Hijab's video calling on his fans to mob flag our pages on Patreon has been removed for violating YouTube's policy on harassment and bullying. Harassment and bullying. That does sound like Hijab, and like his ideology in general.
Today, I was deeply disturbed to see Mohammad Hijab making threats at Alex O'Connor, aka Cosmic Skeptic.
And I know you live in Oxford, bro, and you know the Cowley Street is all Muslim. Cowley area, that's all Muslim area. It's a Muslim, I'm not saying majority, but it's a so you don't want to make enemies in your area.
And they put it in there. Let alone Sanad and this and that, and the Sahaba were going to beat each other up because they didn't know. Is this one saying it? Get the hell out of here! Get the hell out of here! And these weak Muslims in the West, sending me emails and this, I'm losing my faith and I'm a Hafiz, I'm losing, get the hell out, you are never a strong believer in the first place, you weakling. You're a weakling because you don't know your tradition. You're sitting there watching Netflix. And you don't read the books of Islam. That's why you are where you are. That's why you are where you are, you imbecile.